taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream. Today is Monday, January 26th. S&P futures are now up 9 points. They were down pretty sizable last night. Big gap down, but pretty much a rally since the gap down. NASDAQ is basically unchanged, trying to go green. Same with the Russell. Dow is slightly green, up 73 points. Gold and silver making themselves known again at all-time highs. Gold up 2%, silver up 8.5%. Silver touched 110, gold over 5,000. Notes and bonds green, 10-year yield down 0.5%, oil's down 0.5%. Natural gas moving again, up another 12%. Soybeans, wheat, and corn red. Euro and the pound are both up a little less than 0.5%. Bitcoin down 2%. VIX getting a little Monday pump, up about 2.5%. Currently at 16.49. Okay, so as far as my trades this morning, besides day trades, I've got a 6-7 put calendar from Friday. If we open right here, my strike for a 3-4 put calendar would be about 15 points higher. So I'm going to go ahead and let that fire. When the S&P was down 5, it would have opened right on the same strike. So I want to spread that out a little bit. So I'm going to reactivate my 3-4 put calendar for this morning. And then I'll do a 1 DTE Iron Condor near the open. And then I'll be focused on day trading. Yeah, no news, not much news today. We had durable goods pre-market, but tomorrow Trump speaks tentatively in Iowa. We've got consumer confidence and Richmond Manufacturing Index. Wednesday's the big day, FOMC in the afternoon. Thursday, unemployment claims. Friday, PPI. And then we've got a lot of big boy earnings coming. Actually, I forgot to post those in my... Forgot to post the earnings. Let me do that really quick. Post those in the 2 days plan channel. But we've got United Health Group before the open tomorrow. Boeing before the open tomorrow. UPS, GM. After the bell Tuesday, Texas Instruments. And then they really get started on Wednesday. ASML pre-market. Starbucks pre-market. Wednesday after the bell, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, IBM. Before the bell Thursday, MasterCard, Caterpillar. After the close Thursday, Apple and SanDisk and Visa. SoFi before the market Friday, Verizon. So lots of big boys. There's the opening bell. Expected range in the SPX looks like it is off. I'm not sure what it actually is. Showing 164 points plus or minus, but that is incorrect. So Toss is having a little glitch, it looks like. Anybody else see what the expected move is for today? Krish says 29.86. Sounds about right. Did you get that off a different broker, Krish? S&P bouncing. Amazon bouncing. Meta had a little bounce, but it's getting pushed back down. Google's pushing into the green. Biggest movers on my list, I've got CoreWeave is up 13%, Nebius is up 6%, APP is up 5%. Let me post my 1DTE and my 3-4. My 3-4 is on the 69.35 strike. Versus the 69.10 from my 6-7 from last week, so that's good. All right, so NVIDIA and Google acting the strongest of big tech. AVGO, nice move as well. So AVGO, Google, and NVIDIA. I'm going to load up. We're trading the 4DTE today. I'm going to load up some calls in NVIDIA. I'll do the 190s. AVGO up to previous day high. On AVGO, I'm going to grab the 325 calls to get ready. AVGO, little pause at previous day high and popped. AVGO has been kind of weaker compared to some of the chips lately, but looking strong today. Goog still acting strong. S&P and NASDAQ pushing. PLTR, decent little bounce up above pre-market high. Amazon rejected. Tesla acting weak. Meta rejected. Zero rejection out of AVGO. NVIDIA now pushing. Bitcoin bouncing. AVGO all up. All up. ASML is another strong chip. But MU, AMD acting weak. SNDK acting weak. SMH, nice bounce. S&P and NASDAQ acting strong. NVIDIA low pullback, AVGO low pullback. I will go a little smaller on my first position size, being it is Monday. It's part of my plan. Chips definitely not showing the strength, although AVGO and NVIDIA. Apple bouncing back up to pre-market highs. Meta bouncing back up to previous day high. I'm going to load up the 670 calls on Meta. Also on PLTR. PLTR, I'm going to load up the 170 calls. PLTR is kind of reacting off of pre-market highs. Trying to get back up into green. Meta's pushing. Apple acting strong. Google dipping now. Also looking at Apple on the 255 calls. NVIDIA's popping back up. PLTR popped. PLTR, nice pop. Amazon acting weak. S&P, NASDAQ acting strong. Bitcoin acting strong. Tesla weak. Netflix acting weak. Amazon acting weak. Meta pulling back to previous day high. Nice push out of AVGO again. Nice little dip down to previous day high in AVGO, and it popped right back up. NVIDIA trying to get through highs.
Order filled.
PLTR's little push getting pushed back down. Apple, nice pop through high. Meta couldn't hold. Apple, nice push. So Apple, AVGO, and NVIDIA, all those could have worked. S&P still pushing. Netflix can't get back into the green. Amazon's still weak. I'm watching Meta. I still may get in a Meta on a reclaim of this previous day high here. Meta, I'd be trading the 670s. Starting to push up. NVIDIA kind of rejected at previous the high of day. Meta kind of dipping here. Goog starting to bounce again. Amazon trying to get its first bounce. S&P pushing above the 691 level where it kind of rejected a few times over the last couple days. It's right at previous day high. Meta still chopping below previous day high. AMD going through lows. Google's just kind of chopping. Tesla's starting to bounce. Microsoft pushing through highs, above pre-market highs. Microsoft had that big move on Friday. Now it's trying to push back above pre-market highs. Tezzy through lows. S&P, NASDAQ still at highs. Russell still at highs. Bitcoin rejected previous day low. AVGO's dip getting bought up again. NVIDIA rejected though. NVIDIA back in the red. Apple staying strong.
Order cancelled. Order partially filled. Order filled.
Tesla quick little flush and bounce. All right, so Meta's bouncing back up. Watching Meta. Microsoft testing pre-market highs here. If I traded Microsoft, I would trade the 470 calls. Actually, 475s. Apple looks like it wants to run. I'm going to take Microsoft on the 475 calls, filled at 975. They're expensive because of earnings. We'll see if we can get an extension above, starting to extend above pre-market highs now. I'd like to take some off around previous day high based on the size of those. Just did a 4 lot, so I'll take my first profit target at 1060, which would be right below previous day high in Microsoft. Showing some good relative strength. S&P and NASDAQ still strong. AVGO still chopping near highs. MU bounced back a little bit. AMD still super weak. SNDK back in the green. See if we can get any continuation out of Microsoft here. Meta just became really choppy. Apple trying to make it through highs. Amazon bouncing a little bit. First profit target of Microsoft at 1060. SNDK back up to pre-market highs of day. Nvidia trying to bounce off previous day low. Tesla still weak. Netflix weak. Apple pushing through. Nvidia trying to bounce. It's back in the green. Google trying to get back up to highs. ASML is pushing. It's kind of a mixed bag in the chips this morning for sure. Not the all-out strength that we saw a lot last week. Be back in 1 minute. Microsoft getting close. Profit target's at 1060. It's trading up to 1040. NASDAQ through previous day high now. AMD starting to bounce. Tesla starting to bounce. Meta back above previous day high. SNDK, nice extension through pre-market high. That thing has been a beast. Yeah, Apple is a good one. Hondo, nice. Little dip back to pre-market high and then pop through highs. SNDK options, you're paying $3,000 per one lot with earnings this week. Need a little more pop out of Microsoft. Google through highs. Amazon looks like it wants to roll over. Netflix through lows. NASDAQ's kind of rejecting previous day high. Russell's pulling back. S&P pausing. Microsoft couldn't quite push to where we needed it yet. MU's almost back up to highs a day. AVGO taking a little pause, pullback. PLTR starting to bounce again. PLTR trying to pop back up to highs. Google's pushing. With the S&P and NASDAQ going straight up, I mean, Microsoft kind of started weak, and I guess it kind of went straight up, but Apple had some good relative strength. AVGO. But not a whole lot of stocks following the indices. Tesla bounced a little bit. Looks like it's coming back down. NASDAQ trying to get through previous day high. Meta's pretty choppy, but it's had such really good momentum the last few sessions. That's one reason why I was kind of high on it early, and it's holding, but it's not moving. Microsoft trying to make another run back up to highs. Apple trying to bounce again. We need the Qs to push through. IWM really rolling over now. I haven't even looked at the banks. What are the banks doing? They're pretty strong. Still kind of chopping near highs. Crypto's starting to bounce. Netflix finally starting to try to bounce. Tezzy trying to bounce off that 438 level. I have that marked on my chart from, that was last Wednesday's high. Apple trying to push. Goog staying strong. Apple pushing back up to highs. PLTR keeps rejecting that 170 half level. It's staying green, but kind of rejected that several times now. Microsoft is chopping. Didn't quite get up to our first profit target. Tesla's still trying to bounce. Goog still pushing. Apple at highs. S&P a little dip trying to get bought up. NASDAQ trying to push through previous day high. Meta still just holding.
Order partially filled. Order filled. Order cancelled.
NASDAQ kind of rejecting previous day high again, or pausing. Definitely not any forceful push through. IWM still coming down. Microsoft back down to pre-market high, kind of at my level where I entered. Meta still trying to act like it may want to go. PLTR dipping into the red now. SNDK, another push through highs. SNDK was below yesterday's low. Now it's up 3.5%. Microsoft not participating in this push with some of the other big tech. S&P and NASDAQ still kind of pausing, pulling back. MU still extending its pullback pretty deep. I need Microsoft to bounce here. Nvidia's little bounce getting pushed back down. Microsoft starting to break under pre-market high, so I've got my order ready to cut Microsoft if it doesn't bounce here. NASDAQ just can't push through previous day high yet. Now we got the Russell trying to bounce. Bitcoin, a little pop. Let's see, what are the crypto bros doing? MSTR trying to push back up to highs. Circle just pushed up through highs. Hood is holding up pretty good. Coins acting weak. Tezzy heading back to lows. Nvidia heading to lows. MU pushing through highs. SNDK still pushing. Microsoft trying to hold, just choppy. Apple coming down now. Meta coming back down below previous day high. Microsoft dipping below pre-market high again. AVGO is back to previous day high where it bounced. S&P's dip getting bought up. Tezzy no flush through lows. Nvidia no flush through lows yet. S&P trying to get back up to highs. NASDAQ maybe another attempt at going through previous day high. S&P almost to highs. Bitcoin trying to push above previous day low. Tezzy trying to bounce, little fake flush and bounce. Kind of a little reversal pattern in Tezzy. S&P and NASDAQ getting that strength back. Bitcoin strong. Microsoft just sitting here pretty close to where I got in. Meta still holding previous day high. I'm going to take some Meta 670 calls. Meta 670 calls. It's a little choppy, but filled at 2133. Like to see a push through highs of day. Just really more focused on the longer term daily chart here. Seeing if it can push up above that 672 levels where there's some kind of consolidation over the last couple months. Looks like it's acting like a magnet here. Apple back to highs. Google still at highs. Microsoft trying to creep back up. S&P through highs. NASDAQ trying to push through highs. Bitcoin through highs. Starting to see some strength come in. Microsoft, I still have my first profit target at 1060. It's now above previous day high. I'll leave that for now. See See how we react here. Getting some strength coming in. Amazon trying to go green. Nice bounce out of Tesla. Meta starting to push. I'm going to put a first profit target in Meta at $23. I only did a 3 lot, so I'm going to take one lot off at 23 if it pushes.
Order cancelled.
Meta would need to push right through highs of day. Microsoft kind of just pushed up to highs of day again, but couldn't push through. Netflix trying to bounce, going green. Apple pushing. S&P, NASDAQ pushing. I need a push out of Microsoft. It's not giving me that relative strength anymore. Nice push out of Meta, right up to highs. Goog's pushing. S&P, NASDAQ are ripping. Nvidia starting to bounce back in the green. Was hoping to get out of a couple trades early. Remember, we do have FOMC on Wednesday, so could possibly see some chop leading up to that.
Order partially filled.
See if Microsoft can break through finally. Meta needs another little push. On this pop in the S&P and NASDAQ, I would have liked to see some profit targets in Meta or Microsoft, but neither are pushing quite enough. Meta showed some good strength here, but Microsoft is just kind of Kind of keeps popping up to that just below previous day high, but then pausing. Nvidia back in the green. Netflix back up to previous day high. Apple still pushing. Apple off of pre-market highs was really good. AVGO off of previous day high was another good one this morning. Some of these stocks that were acting weak early are really starting to bounce. Netflix and Tesla. Now Nvidia. Hondo, are you still in any Apple? Watson, you got some CoreWeave. How are the options in there? I took that off my watch list because they're a little poopy. Man, S&P and NASDAQ on a mission. All right, Microsoft trying again. Try harder, Microsoft. Try harder. Met a little pause right at highs of day. Bitcoin, little rollover. IWM never got back any strength after that pullback like the S&P and NASDAQ did. Met a little pause, pullback. Microsoft making new highs. Yeah, AVGO, little reaction again off of previous day high. MU is now coming down. AMD through lows. So the chips are, SMH coming down, so chips are showing some weakness here. AVGO holding up well. PLTR just chopping around unchanged. Meta's little dip getting bought up. What's a guy got to do to hit a profit target around here? Tezzy rejecting again. That's that overnight low, and Tesla ticked up to it and then pushed back down. Nvidia rejecting again, tried to go green. Goog still pushing. S&P and NASDAQ, little pause. What's silver doing? Still pushing? Oh my gosh. 112? Woo! Is the world coming to an end? What is going on? Huh. Interesting. I'm going to lower my profit target on Microsoft down to 1040. Back to previous day high. It started with theta decay. It started creeping above it. Meta's about to hit. If it can tick a little higher. I have my profit target at 23 on Meta. There it is, 23 on Meta filled. Tezzy back to lows. Netflix back in the red. Google pushing. Meta pushing. S&P and Nasdaq pausing. AMD bleeding. Natural gas up another 20%. It's cold. It's cold and the world's coming to an end. Softy. I need a push. I need a push at a softy. So I only did a 3-lot of Meta, took off one. I'll take another one off at 24.50, which would be right. I need to push through that 72.5 level. AVGO just kind of sitting there. Chip still, SMH is still coming down. ASML, which was strong earlier, it's pulling back. SNDK is pulling back below pre-market high. Apple's dip getting bought up. Goog's still pushing. Tesla flushed through lows. Let's see if it has any continuation lower here. Microsoft dip getting bought up. Might finally hit a profit target. Got my profit target at 1040. It's touching it. Just need another little tick. Tick, tick, tick. Nope. Couldn't do it. Not gonna do it, are you, Microsoft? You're just gonna tease me. PLTR coming down now. Meta dipping a little bit. IWM all the way down to lows, which is also previous day low. Man, with that run that we saw in the S&P and Nasdaq, you gotta hit some profit targets on some calls. Just didn't have the relative strength after I got in on Microsoft. AVGO still holding previous day high. SMH trying to bounce. Amazon trying to stay green. Tesla trying to do a little flush and recover. Microsoft dipping still. Touched my profit target, didn't push through though. Google looks like it's on a mission. Netflix back in the red. Apple's dip getting bought up. Amazon dip getting bought up. QQQ holding previous day high. IWM, nice bounce off of previous day low. Well, I was hoping to hit a Microsoft profit target before we got off here. See if we can get any legs here. MSTR trying to go green. Bitcoin dipping. Banks still just kind of chopping near highs of day. Intel getting whacked. It's down 6%. Open below previous day low and pretty much all downhill. So looking at my wheel portfolio, not quite to the point where I'd roll up my silver puts yet. Not quite to the point where I'd roll up my UNG puts yet. Rivian's down again. Nebius up a couple percent. Looks like I'll be rolling my Nebius calls down. Yeah, so it looks like I'll be rolling some NBIS calls down today. Amazon bouncing, Apple through highs. Microsoft giving it another go. Let's go, Microsoft. Let this be the one. Let it be the one. I got stuff to do. I can't just sit here and stream all day, Microsoft. I need you to hit a profit target. There we go. 1040 hit. I knew you could do it. I knew it. I need that, Watson. I need that. All right, next PT in Microsoft, I'll set it at 1150. Might lower that. Meta, I've still got my second profit target at 20, what did I say? 2450, I think. Yeah, 2440. So we'll see what happens there. I may cut out early if they just start chopping. S&P and NASDAQ kind of pausing near highs. Russell getting weak again. So that is the plan. I'll update in the trade channel. Otherwise, everybody have a fantastic day. See you in Power Hour. Cheers.